All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're not talking about self help or finding your bliss. We're cracking open a philosophy that's more like a brutal awakening. This isn't about feeling good, it's about seeing things as they really are. We're looking at a text that charts a path to raw, unflinching reality by systematically tearing down every comforting story we tell ourselves about life. So let me ask you something right off the bat. What if that purpose you're searching for, that grand meaning you believe your life has, what if it's all just a really convincing story? A myth we've invented to make ourselves feel better about a much colder, harder truth. Well, the philosophy we're diving into today says that's exactly what's going on. It's a tough pill to swallow, I know, but stick with me. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to look at the core idea, this path to raw reality. Then we'll zoom way out to the truths of the cosmos, and then zoom right back into the truths of the self. After we've broken everything down, we'll talk about the ultimate goal here, which is radical liberation. And finally, we'll ask, okay, so how do you actually live like this? Okay, part one, a path to raw reality. The whole idea here is to learn how to see the world without any filters, without any illusions. This philosophy is built on 5 core truths, and you can think of each one as a hammer designed to shatter a different comforting myth, forcing us to face reality head-on, whether we like it or not. And boom, here they are, the 5 truths. Just look at them. They don't pull any punches, do they? We go from existence is accidental and the cosmos is indifferent, straight to your flesh is a cage and meaning is a lie. It's pretty stark stuff, but it all leads somewhere, to this final goal of liberation. So let's start where it all begins, at the biggest scale imaginable, the cosmos itself. All right, let's start tearing things down with the first 2 truths. This is all about our place, or, our lack of a place, in this accidental and indifferent universe. This part is meant to challenge that deep-seated feeling that we're special, that this was all made for us. Just take a look at this timeline. The universe has been around for almost 14 billion years. Our planet for about 4.5 billion. And us, our entire lifespan, maybe 80 years if you're lucky, is such a tiny, microscopic blip, it's basically invisible. According to this path, that's not proof of some grand plan leading up to us. No, it's proof of pure, chaotic randomness. We weren't the main event. We just happened to wander in long after the party started. And this quote from physicist Steven Weinberg just nails this second cosmic truth: indifference. The more we learn about the universe, the more we understand the laws of physics. We don't find some hidden meaning or a friendly creator. We just find math. We find mechanics. It's not that the universe is out to get you. It's just that it literally doesn't even know you exist. If you need a visual, just think of Carl Sagan's pale blue dot. That's us, a lonely speck, as he put it. And the philosophy we're looking at really hammers this home. There is zero evidence that anyone or anything is coming to save us. We are completely, utterly on our own out here in the dark. Okay, so we've stared into the cold, indifferent cosmos. Now this path asks us to turn that lens inward. The next 2 truths are about the prisons that are a lot closer to home, our own bodies and our own minds. So what's the first prison? Well, it's literally built into our biology. It's a concept psychologists call the hedonic treadmill. You know how it works, right? You get that new job, you buy that thing you've always wanted, you feel amazing for a day, a week, and then, poof, you're right back to where you started. This philosophy says that's not a bug, it's a feature. It means chasing pleasure is a trap. It's a treadmill you can never, ever get off of. And the contrast here could not be more intense. We're always told, your body is a temple. It's this beautiful vessel for joy. But this philosophy, nope. It calls the body a flesh cage. It's a biological machine that's hardwired for craving, for pain, for getting old, and for eventually breaking down completely. Sure, there are moments of pleasure, but the machine's basic programming is suffering and decay. And this all leads us to the 4th truth. And honestly, this is the one that really gets people. Meaning is a lie. The philosopher Albert Camus put it best. He said, "We are creatures who are desperate for meaning, born into a universe that has absolutely none to offer." So any grand story we tell ourselves about destiny or a divine plan or finding our purpose is just that, a story, a human invention we use to cope. So if our existence is an accident in an indifferent universe and we're trapped in a body that's built for suffering and the meaning we crave is a lie, what the heck is left? I mean, what's the point? This is where everything pivots. Once you've burned away all those illusions, what's the goal? The goal isn't what you think. It's not happiness or success, it's liberation. And this philosophy defines that very specifically. It's a combination of two old ideas. First is freedom, freedom from being a slave to your cravings and emotions. And second is peace, a kind of deep, unshakable calm that can't be touched by the outside world. That's the endgame, to get to a state where nothing can throw you off balance. So how does this stack up against other big ideas? Well, the text argues that other systems get close, but they always add a little bit of sugarcoating. Buddhism and Stoicism are on the right track, but they tack on ideas like karma or a rational universe. Religions, well, they rely on faith to paper over the cracks. And modern self-help just tells you to ignore reality and think positive. This fivefold path claims to be different because it strips all of that away, leaving just the raw, hard facts. Which brings us to the final, and maybe most important question. This is where the rubber meets the road, right? If all of this is true, how are you supposed to get out of bed in the morning? How do you live your life knowing you're in a meaningless void? The answer isn't to give in to despair, it's to rebel. You embrace the sheer absurdity of it all. You decide to live fully, not because there's some point to it, but precisely because there isn't. You learn to watch your emotions and cravings come and go without letting them control you. You set your own goals based on your own choices, not because of some cosmic destiny, and you stare death right in the face, letting it remind you that this moment, right now, is all you have. And it all comes back to that incredible image from Camus, Sisyphus. This guy is condemned by the gods to push a huge rock up a hill for eternity, only to watch it roll back down every single time. His task is completely, utterly futile. And yet, Camus says we must imagine Sisyphus happy. Why? Because in that moment, he turns to walk back down the hill, fully aware of his absurd fate. He is free. His happiness is found in the struggle itself, in his rebellion. So we end with one last massive question for you. The big takeaway from this whole philosophy is this. The universe didn't give you a purpose, but it gave you something else. Absolute freedom from purpose. That void is also a blank slate. The rock is always going to roll back down the hill, but you get to decide how you push it. So the only real question left is, what are you going to do with all that freedom?